Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. That's the first time I got to say that. That was cute. Probably wasn't, but that's okay. I wanted to jump back on here and show you an in-depth, detailed view on how I did Tuesday's video. I'm planning on uploading Tuesdays and Thursdays. Bear with me. I'm going to try my hardest to do it because I think this is going to be really fun and really interesting. This is only my second video and I am so pumped. So I will see you guys shortly. I need a little lip balm from that matte lipstick yesterday. My lips were super dry. Alright, so we're going to start with the primer that I use. The one that I've been currently obsessing over is going to be the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. It's really, really nice. Really helps the makeup stick to the face. I'm just going to press it in. Don't mind my little zit there. It's so unattractive. And it's so funny because as I was editing that first video, I'm like, I was supposed to be introducing myself and I wasn't really like, describing myself too much, and I'm like, I said a couple things, you know, they kind of get the gist of who I am. I love makeup, I love cosmetics, I love skincare, I love horror movies, I love Funko Pops, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They really don't. So I'm going to show you really quickly on how I do my brows while I continue to talk about myself. It's a learning experience for all. I'm going to be starting with a Morphe brow pencil. And I'm going to be using this pencil just to fill them in as I normally would, and then I go in and add details later. And I always turn my head and tend to round when I'm doing my brows, because if I keep my face this way and keep penciling in, when you turn, it's going to look like that little spermy thing hanging off the end. So a little bit more about me that you guys may not know is that I love 80s music. I love that whole era of music. I love like 1983, 1984 type of music, like Prince and all them. I love those jams. It's usually what I play when I'm getting ready. But I don't want to get copyrighted, so I'm just gonna not play it. One of my brows always usually sits up a little higher than the other, so I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing here. Now that that's done, let's clean it up and then add in some detail work. I'm going to use my MAC Studio Finish Concealer in the shade NW10 with my MAC 212 brush, and I'm going to clean up underneath my brows. And then we can blend the rest with our fingers. Then we're going to go in with our MAC Shape and Shade Brow Tint pen, and we're going to add in some details, like little hair strokes. And I also like to use this pen too to fill in some areas that I'm a little bit more sparse. And I can get it to look much better than I used to. Next, we're going to take our e.l.f. Putty Primer in the shade White. We're going to prime the eyes. This part I like to use my finger, and again, you don't need that much. Next, I'm going to take my MAC eyeshadow palette in Nude Model. And I'm going to be using a few shades from here. I'm going to use these two shades here and these two shades here. I'm going to be using a Morphe M330 brush, and I use this brush for most of this work. I don't start using different brushes until I'm doing like really fine details. You kind of use the same brush. Multitasking. I'm just sweeping this shade into my crease and a little bit up on the brow bone. Just setting up a nice base where my eyeshadow can blend out. All right, we're going to move on to the next color, which is that one from the top row. And we're going to keep it more concentrated just in the socket of the eye and not so much on the brow bone. Another thing about me is I love neutral colors. I do love to play in actual like bright and vivid colors, but I think neutrals is like my safe zone. So that's why another reason I wanted to start this channel is it kind of makes me step outside the comfort zone, and it makes me try something new, which I think makes me a better artist in the long run. And I think that helps other people, whether if you're a professional makeup artist or an everyday wearer, it kind of helps you to gain more knowledge and learn a little bit more when you step outside your comfort zone. All right, now we're going to go in with the two darker shades and start adding some detail and some more depth. And for those two deeper shades, I'm going to be using a Morphe M507 brush to start the definition towards the outer of the eye, blending towards the center. All right, and now that the definition and the depth part is done, I'm going to use a little bit of a lighter shade to kind of do a cut crease, but I'm not going to be using any concealer or any other primers to do so. I'm just going to do a little bit of shadow. And just for the one color, I'm going to be using the white shade inside the Morphe Coca-Cola Collection palette which is this one here, and this is the one I'm going to use to make my little faux cut crease. I'm going to be using the NYX Epic Ink Liner in the shade Black. I'm obsessed with this. I love brush tip liners instead of felt tips. There's been a few that I've used that I've actually enjoyed, but I think the brush tip, you get more precision, you get more of a detailed stroke, and this one's just good. And it's cheap, which I'm all for. Next, we're moving on to the Nars Natural Radiance Foundation. I'm using the shade Mont Blanc. Now, I'm not sure if the shade names are the same, but when I got this at Ulta, it's been Corona season, so I don't know how long this has been sitting on the shelf, but when I checked the website, the colors were different, so... And I think this is a little too yellow for me, and this is my second bottle. The first bottle was the lightest shade, which was like pure white, and this one I think is a little too yellow for me, but I can work with it. And I used so much foundation in my first video. I think I pumped like 3 or 4 pumps and then was just piling it on. Today I'm going to try to use a little bit less and try not to be so crazy with it. I did 4 pumps, but look how little it is. It's like nothing. So I'm going to take that and working from the center out, let's just bounce it all over. I love this foundation because it gives pretty decent medium buildable coverage. And see, now that I shaved, it just sits on the skin so much smoother. I guess I could have color corrected my beard area, but I honestly don't care. I'm a man in makeup. It kind of is what it is. Now, I typically avoid putting makeup directly around my eye area because I'm going to have concealer there. The more products that you pound on there, the more chances it has to sink in. So I'm just going to avoid my direct under eye area. So I'm going to use my Double Wear Radiant Concealer in the shade Ultra Light to kind of highlight and conceal my under eye area and just also some high points of my face. And I sometimes also tend to go a little bit concealer heavy as well. So I'm going to try not to. So I'm 30, so now I'm at the point in my life, no matter how much or how little concealers and powders and primers I use under my eyes, eventually it sinks in. And like I said in the first video, it's inevitable, it's going to happen, but hopefully I've used the right proper skincare as well as what I'm doing to avoid that. There was a time too when I would only blend my under eye concealer with a brush because I'd get more fuller coverage. And that's the concealer. I look nice and lifted. Next we're using the Rcma Original No Color Powder. I like this powder because it doesn't change the color of the foundation or any of the products that it goes on top. Sometimes I find with even translucent powders, it can kind of add a tint of color to whatever you're putting on top of it, usually because they have coverage built into it. I like this because it doesn't. It's a pure no color powder. This is about as much as I use. I mean, it could be a lot to some people, but to me it's not, and I don't bake. I'm going to place it here. I'm going to place it on the other side as well. And now I'm going to take this cute little Pac-Man Wet n Wild brush that I got a long time ago, and I'm just going to sweep it off. And that's it. Now for my face powder, I'm using the Max Factor Cream Puff Powder, oldie but a goodie, got it on Amazon, to set the rest of my face with. I'm going to take that powder on a Morphe E3 brush and just lightly buff all over the skin. Yeah, I could definitely use some more coverage here. This has a little bit of coverage to it, but not a lot. All right, now that we got the powder applied, I'm going to be spraying some MAC Fix Plus just to kind of set this powder, and then I'm going to go in with all my detailing, my contouring, and my bronzing. Next, I'm going to be using my all-time favorite bronzer, and I don't think you can get it anymore. It's the Estee Lauder Victoria Beckham bronzer in Saffron Sun. I've hit pan. I have one more backup, and then it's gone forever. I'm a little upset about it, honestly. Now I'll be using this on a Morphe E4 brush to bronze contour my face. And we're going to make a little bit of a face. Not too crazy, but a little bit. I don't want to disturb the makeup, so I'm not going to rush back and forth because I don't want it to break up the foundation and the powder that I've already put down. And don't forget your ears. Sweep away your double chin. This is where you can sweep a little bit. Instant liposuction. And of course the forehead. And I'm just going to tap this in around the perimeter. I'm going to take the same bronzer on a Morphe R37 brush to do my nose. This part's strictly optional. And then I buff it right into my eyeshadow. I think it just makes it look more seamless and more like a continuous, so it's not so just two railroad tracks at the tip of your nose, you know. All right, next we're going to dip in some blush. I'm going to be using the MAC Blush Baby Blush to go everywhere in the same places that I put my bronzer, just to give me more color to the skin. I think it's called the Soft Touch Blush Brush, which is like a lot to say. I'm doing the same motions as before. And the ears, underneath, a little bit on the forehead. And that's phase 1 of the blush. Now let's go in for some more. Next, I'm going to take some Nars Orgasm Blush, tried and true, beloved by many, on the IT Cosmetics Flawless Brush. This one you can kind of concentrate more towards the center and go back and blend into that other one. Now that we've got pretty much the face done, we're going to move on to the rest of the eyes before we move on to lips, highlighter, and setting the face. Oh, and mascara, duh. I'm going to be using my Estee Lauder Double Wear Eyeliner Pencil, one of my most favorite eyeliner waterline pencils, and for tight lining. It's really, really good. It's really black and it stays put, and it's really good for creating the perfect smoky eye. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to go in with some eyeshadow and a little thin detailing brush, and we're going to really smoke out the bottom, so it'll look fine. And tight line as well, if you can stand it. The first time someone did this to me, and I thought I was going to die, the amount of tickling that it does to your eyes. Just forewarning you. We're going to move on with a Morphe M431 brush. I'm going to take a little bit of these 2 shades here to really help smoke out the bottom. Starting with the lighter shade first, as close to the lash line as you can get it. We're going to buff back and forth. Trust the process. I swear to God. It works itself out. And if not, just take it off. Now that we've got this far, I'm going to pull out my secret little lover, which is the Urban Decay Blackout Eyeshadow. Single pan, black. This is my favorite black. Just from the corner again, and slowly and slightly buff in. Tiniest little bit. And we're going to pop that right in that crease. And just buff it out. Remember guys, you don't have to use exactly these products. You can use similar products, you can use drugstore products, you can use high-end, whatever your prerogative is and whatever you prefer, you can use. It doesn't have to be these exact products. I'm not the type of YouTuber that's going to be like, you need to go out and buy all these products and you need to buy all this and this is what I'm sponsoring. Who has time for that? I mean, I love trying new products just as much as the next person, but if you find something that's cheap or if it's expensive and you like it, use it. I really wish my brows were like this all the time, but that's just not the case. Maybe I'll get some Botox. I'm going to curl the lashes. Use some MAC Extended Play Mascara. I just bumped myself in the eye. Now this eye's gonna water. And hello, I'm recreating the last video's look. In depth. While talking about myself. Which I haven't done. Now before I move on, I'm gonna set all of this. I'm gonna be using my Skindinavia Makeup Setting Spray. I'm gonna be using the Coca-Cola Morphe Loose Highlighter in the shade Bubbly Babe. Had to look because I forgot what it was. I'm gonna apply a little bit here. Above the brow. And then whatever's left in the cap, I'm going to take on my finger. And I'm going to take it on the tip of my nose. And then up the bridge a little bit. And the last part is lips. I'm going to be taking a Soar lip liner pencil. Hopefully I don't super overdraw like I did in my first video. Because that was so funny. Though it might look better now that I've shaved. Choices. Here we go again. Too much. We're going to put some lipstick on top of it. I'm going to be using the Jeffree Star Velour Liquid Lipstick in the shade Fully Nude. Love this color. It's really, really cute. Little Tom Ford lip brush. I think a lip brush is really beneficial to somebody because you can go along the edge lines. And sometimes like lip liners leave those little skip marks, especially if you're a man and have a mustache. This can really help give a nice smooth finish. And you guys, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I did making it. It was super fun. The first video was so fun to make, and it was so random because I was doing makeup, but I wasn't doing the whole teaching thing. I love to teach. I think it's fun. I hope to see you guys very soon. If you guys want to subscribe to my channel, that'd be great. Leave a like and a comment below and tap that little bell. And hop over to my Instagram, which is @RobbyZMakeup. All my social media handles are the same, which is RobbyZMakeup. And remember, beauty is what you make it. No matter how it turns out, you can always take it off. Bye, guys.